talk about the key of D. So like, I like to do drop D, but when I'm not, here's some things you can do on these bottom strings when maybe it's just not convenient with how you're gonna chord in the key of D. And I know most of you thinking, it is always convenient to play there, but let's just talk about it. So, I like to think about when it's bluesy. I like to think about the minor pentatonic scale, but adding the third back into that scale. So here's an open position. So I've talked about this, but here it is on electric. I think I did it on acoustic and in drop D. So you have, first you think about this kind of like D7 shape right here. All right. And then, so then you can play third fret, first fret, you know, second fret on G string, and then slide in. Here's your minor third that gives it that. But slide it in and make it just a little bit more, it states the chord a little better, makes it a little more happier. So slide that right there to that third, and you got third fret, you got first fret on B string, and then you got this. All right. And then we do have the first fret and to open from like flat 5 to 4, 5. All right. And, but then here is this, and I know a lot of it's like, you know, but you could slide from there to the fourth. And once again, like, here's the octave lower, minor third to major third. And you can go back and do that, but it's on the table. Here's flat 7, third fret on the A string to open to the 5. And then once again, we have here this you know, a little bit different situation. Normally, like, if this was drop D, this would be this F note, and it's that minor third. You could go, all right? Or you can even go right here and go, you got the pentatonic blues situation where it's like fourth fret. I'm sorry, 4 to 4 sharp or flat 5, and then you got the open A. So it's as if you're going, but you're going open, all right? So you got, then you got, and you can add that open in there for the 2. So this whole thing is basically like learn your scales and everything, but then don't stay boxed in to just like, well, I'm playing minor pentatonic blues scale, or I'm playing minor scale, or I'm playing major scale. You know, add different colors here and there that your ear has heard. So basically, now I've got around that G7, then here I got, and then here I got, or, and look, I added that major 6 in there, so I'm like mixing major and minor pentatonics. So really, so now you got, and skip strings, don't play in such an order. So I did here and here, and then I kind of made like a little slide into like a double stop where it rings together. You know, you can play some together. It's as if you're playing this, play part of that D7, so slide that up, hammer on the first fret. You know, and that sounds a little weird, just slow like that, but if you did it in context, let me think of a good way. All right, and then, so that's kind of like first position. And you can go to this next one and just barely move your hand down, and then you got your D right here, flat 7, you know, flat 7, but you got to kind of move your hand here, unless you have the middle finger on this D note right here. You go down here, and then you got 3 frets here, but you got that, all right? So there's that G. But remember, you can slide that to the 4th fret. So now you're just borrowing some notes that you had right there and you just moved them here. So. And one thing that really helps me is like pick 3 strings to kind of play on and then imagine a chord shape and then play these kind of those scales and inflections around them. If you want it bluesy, add the flat 7, swing the 3rd, I guess, or add minor 3rd to it as a passing note, or you can play it if you just want it more, you know, right there, you know. You got one right here, one right here, one right here, one right here, that F note. And then, so you could just play in there first. But see, like, you could, you know, right away you hit a wrong note there, but if you were just flying, you know, you may do that. But play within that. And then maybe bend to that and add the 6th. So now I found that, so. And then, so now I've kind of moved my hand there. And then you get on to the next one where you're, you know, I imagine this kind of like A7 shape and this B7 thing right here. I like to go in between these two, play that. And then all the way up to, you know, that stuff right there. So there's some thoughts about the key of D, and then when you're changing chords, like if you go to a G chord, like keep all that in mind. Don't obsess over staying in the key of D scale, but you know, keep those notes in mind, like G. So like the flat 7 of G works out because that's the minor 7. That F is the minor 7 of D. So it kind of, you know. Could slide back into a D if you were going. So you could do the same thing. Think about the 3rds and where they're at, but kind of switch your brain to G and then keep in mind the notes that don't work for the sound. I mean, I feel like all notes work sometimes in the right context. So maybe we should be teaching context and not, you know, not just so much scales and notes and stuff, but in the beginning you need guidelines. Your ear isn't as good, and you know, I find that it really works to learn your scales and then kind of like, I've heard someone say, was it like learn all the rules and then kind of forget all of them. So it's like when you have them under your fingers and you can really play all the rules and all the shapes and all the scales that you need, major, minor, pentatonics and major scale and mixolydian and whatever else you would like to add for the flavor that you want. And then learn how to jam with that, learning those rules, and kind of forget them and mix them together, and then just kind of use your ear. And then learn songs and recognize what they're playing in and how they're mixing them and stuff. And then learn from that. So that's kind of what I do, but I like to kind of practice on 3 strings at a time. Like, so if I was thinking about that D7, I might just wait till I have them come for both playing. And then I might move right here and then and then I mix them. Then maybe move up to this little thing. Or you could just go straight across here and then learn, you know, learn those 3 strings in the open position. And then learn this. And it's hard to like just create improv melodies on 3 strings. So it really lets you learn that section, you know, and then tie them all together. So then if you just wanted to stay here, you could. And then learn how to tie them together. And that way you don't have so many holes. I still find holes every now and then, and I'm like, oh man, I got lost in that one little area. And when I think about it, I know it. Like if right now I was like, okay, I play, there's a D right there, but maybe that's not an actual position this happens, but maybe when I'm playing right here and I go to a D and I'm right here, I find this D note, but then I'm thinking, wait a minute, what shape am I and everything? That's a hole. And maybe you ought to just play on those 3 strings for a long time. You know, maybe take a key a month and, you know, just practice on those things. So that's just some thoughts today as I'm like noodling on the guitar, and hope everybody's having a good day.